Olivia Matthews stood alone in the bridal suite of the Grand Horizon Hotel, her heart racing as if it were trying to escape her chest. Dressed in a breathtaking white gown that had once symbolized her dreams, she now felt like a prisoner in a cruel joke. With trembling hands, she read the text message for the 20th time, each word cutting deeper than the last. "I can't go through with this. I'm sorry." 7 words. That's all it took for James Whitfield to obliterate the future they had painstakingly built over 3 years. The lavish decorations, the excited whispers of her bridesmaids, and the anticipation of a life shared, all shattered in an instant. Outside the door, the sounds of laughter and clinking glasses echoed like a mocking chorus, a reminder of the celebration that would never be. As she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the mirror, the weight of humiliation crashed over her. The wedding dress she had saved for months now felt like a costume, a painful reminder of her unfulfilled hopes. It wasn't the designer gown James's family had envisioned. It was simply the best she could manage on a teacher's salary. A soft knock at the door broke her trance. "Liv? Can I come in?" It was Maya, her best friend since college. Olivia couldn't respond, but the door opened anyway. Maya's expression spoke volumes. Pity, concern, and an undercurrent of anger. "He's not coming, is he?" Olivia finally managed, her voice barely a whisper. Maya stepped inside, her eyes scanning the room before landing on Olivia. The silence was thick, heavy with unspoken words and shared heartbreak. "Liv, you don't have to face them. We can leave right now," she urged, her voice a mix of desperation and determination. "No," Olivia replied, her voice steadying. "I won't sneak out like I've done something wrong." In that moment, she made a silent vow. This would not be the end of her story. As Olivia stood there, the reality of her situation crashed over her like a tidal wave. The laughter outside felt like daggers, each peal a reminder of the life she had envisioned, a life that now lay in ruins. She could almost hear the whispers of her friends, their excitement turning to pity as they realized the truth. The weight of their gazes felt suffocating, as if they were all silently judging her for a love that had crumbled before it even began. Her mind raced back to the moments leading up to this disaster. The planning, the late-night discussions about their future, the dreams they had shared. She had poured her heart into every detail, believing that love could conquer all, even the disapproval of James's wealthy family. But now, standing alone in her wedding dress, she felt like a ghost haunting the remnants of a life that would never be. Maya's presence was a lifeline, but even her best friend's support couldn't erase the sting of rejection. "Liv, you're stronger than this," Maya said, her voice trembling slightly. But Olivia could only shake her head, the tears threatening to spill over. "I thought I was enough," she whispered, the vulnerability in her voice cutting through the air. "I thought love was enough." Maya stepped closer, wrapping her arms around Olivia in a comforting embrace. "You are enough. This doesn't define you." But as Olivia stood there, enveloped in her friend's warmth, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had been cast aside, not just by James, but by the world that had always seemed to favor the privileged. In that moment, she felt the full weight of her heartbreak. The dreams, the plans, the love she had believed in, all slipping through her fingers like sand. The humiliation of being left at the altar was a wound that would take time to heal, but deep down, a flicker of determination ignited within her. This was not how her story would end. As Olivia stood in the bridal suite, the weight of her heartbreak felt insurmountable. But in the depths of her despair, a vision flickered to life, a stark contrast to her current reality. She imagined herself years from now, walking confidently into a sleek, modern boardroom, the air thick with tension and anticipation. The long mahogany table gleamed under the bright lights, and the faces of the Whitfield family stared back at her, their expressions a mix of disbelief and unease. Richard Whitfield, the formidable patriarch, would sit at the head of the table, his brow furrowed in frustration. James, once the love of her life, would be there too, looking older and warier, the weight of regret etched on his face. In this imagined confrontation, Olivia would no longer be the vulnerable bride left at the altar. She would be the chief educational officer of a thriving tech company, commanding respect and authority. The power dynamics would shift dramatically. and she would hold the reins of a deal that could either save or sink the Whitfield legacy. "Welcome, Miss Matthews," Richard would say, his voice dripping with skepticism. "I didn't expect to see you here." With a calm confidence, she would respond, "You should have expected me. I'm here to discuss the future of your company." In that moment, Olivia would feel the thrill of reclaiming her narrative, the satisfaction of turning her pain into power. The humiliation of today would transform into the strength of tomorrow, and she would finally have the chance to show them all that she was more than just a rejected bride. She was a force to be reckoned with. But for now, she stood in the bridal suite, the echoes of laughter outside a painful reminder of what she had lost. Yet deep within her, the embers of determination began to glow, igniting a fire that would propel her forward. This was just the beginning of her journey, and she would rise from the ashes, stronger than ever. As Olivia took a deep breath, the reality of her situation began to crystallize. This moment, painful as it was, would not define her. The flicker of determination grew stronger within her, a promise to herself that she would rise from this heartbreak. But before she could fully embrace that resolve, she felt an urgent need to share her story. The laughter outside faded into a distant hum, replaced by the sound of her own heartbeat, steady and resolute. Just then, a sudden commotion erupted from the hallway. The door swung open and a flurry of activity rushed in. Her bridesmaids, their faces a mix of concern and disbelief. "Liv, we need to talk," one of them exclaimed, her voice laced with urgency. In that instant, Olivia felt the ground shift beneath her. The world she had known was crumbling, but a new one was waiting to be built. She could either remain a victim of her circumstances or rise to the challenge ahead. "Are you ready to face them?" Maya asked, her eyes searching Olivia's for a glimmer of hope. With newfound strength, Olivia squared her shoulders. "I will face them. But first, I need to find my own path." As the door closed behind her, sealing off the remnants of her past, a surge of adrenaline coursed through her veins. She was on the brink of a transformation, and the journey ahead would be anything but easy. If you've ever been underestimated or rejected, this story will show you how to turn pain into power. Hit subscribe now to never miss stories of incredible comebacks. Little did she know, the very people who had once dismissed her would soon find themselves at her mercy, and the tables would turn in ways they could never have imagined. As she opened the door, the bright lights of the ballroom flooded in, illuminating her path. The whispers of the crowd grew louder, and she could feel their eyes on her, a mix of pity and curiosity. But this time, she wouldn't shy away. This time, she would walk forward with purpose, ready to face whatever came next. Olivia Matthews had always been a dreamer, her aspirations fueled by a relentless work ethic and a heart full of hope. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, she watched her parents struggle to make ends meet, their sacrifices instilling in her a fierce determination to create a better life. With every late night spent grading papers and every early morning spent preparing lessons, Olivia poured her soul into her work as a public school teacher. She believed in the power of education to change lives, and her students were her greatest joy. Despite the challenges, Olivia envisioned a future filled with love and stability. She dreamed of a family of her own, a partner who would support her ambitions and share in her values. When she met James Whitfield, the charming heir to a wealthy family, it felt like a fairy tale come to life. He was everything she had ever wanted, intelligent, kind, and ambitious. Together, they painted a picture of a beautiful future, one that Olivia believed was within her grasp. But as the wedding day approached, the cracks in that dream began to show, foreshadowing the heartbreak that lay ahead. James Whitfield came from a lineage steeped in privilege, his family's wealth a stark contrast to Olivia's humble beginnings. The Whitfields were a powerful dynasty, known for their influence in the business world and their unwavering adherence to tradition. From the moment Olivia entered their orbit, she felt the weight of their expectations pressing down on her. They were a family that valued status, connections, and old money. And Olivia, with her modest background and public school teaching career, was seen as an outsider. James's parents, Richard and Elizabeth, had grand plans for their son, envisioning a union with someone who could elevate their family's social standing. They had their sights set on a debutante, someone polished and poised, not a teacher from the wrong side of town. Olivia sensed their disapproval in every carefully measured glance and every polite but pointed comment. Despite James' assurances that love would conquer all, the whispers of his family echoed in her mind, sowing seeds of doubt about her place in their world. As the wedding day approached, the pressure mounted, and Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that she was fighting an uphill battle against a tide of elitism. The day of the wedding dawned bright and beautiful, but for Olivia, it felt like a storm was brewing. As she stood in the bridal suite, the excitement of her bridesmaids faded into a distant hum, overshadowed by the gnawing anxiety in her gut. When the moment finally arrived, she stepped into the grand ballroom, her heart racing with anticipation. The lavish decorations sparkled under the chandeliers, and the guests, dressed in their finest attire, turned to witness the ceremony. But as she walked down the aisle, a hush fell over the crowd, followed by a ripple of whispers. Olivia's heart sank as she caught snippets of conversation, pitying remarks and judgmental glances that pierced her like arrows. Cameras flashed, capturing her every move, but instead of joy, she felt exposed like a specimen under a microscope. When the officiant began the ceremony, the weight of the moment pressed down on her. Just as she was about to say her vows, the doors swung open, and James' father stepped forward, his voice cutting through the air like a knife. "I'm sorry, but this wedding cannot proceed." In that instant, Olivia's world shattered, and the laughter and clinking glasses turned into a haunting echo of her humiliation. As the shock of James's father's announcement reverberated through the ballroom, Olivia felt the ground shift beneath her. The whispers grew louder, morphing into a cacophony of judgment and disdain. Richard Whitfield's cold gaze swept over her, and in that moment, she became acutely aware of the Whitfield family's elitist attitudes. They had always viewed her as an interloper, a temporary distraction for their son, and now their disdain was laid bare for all to see. "James has made a mistake," Richard declared, his voice dripping with condescension. "He deserves someone who can truly stand beside him, someone of his caliber." The words stung like a slap, and Olivia's heart sank further as she realized that to them, she was nothing more than a footnote in their family's story. James' mother, Elizabeth, stepped forward, her diamond earrings glinting in the light. "Dear, you must have known this was coming. You simply don't fit into our world." The cruelty of her dismissal cut deeper than any blade, leaving Olivia feeling small and insignificant. In that moment, surrounded by the very people who had once welcomed her with open arms, she understood that she would never be enough for them. As the weight of the Whitfield family's disdain settled heavily on her shoulders, Olivia's gaze searched for James, hoping for a glimmer of support. But instead, she found him standing at the back of the room, his expression a mix of confusion and fear. In that moment, she realized the truth. James had allowed his family to dictate his choices, and she was the collateral damage of their expectations. He had promised her a life built on love, yet here he was, paralyzed by the very people he had sworn to defy. The betrayal cut deeper than any words spoken by his parents. Olivia had believed in their love, had trusted that he would stand by her side against the world. But as she stood there, exposed and humiliated, she understood that his loyalty lay with his family, not with her. "James, please," she wanted to scream, but the words caught in her throat. Instead, she watched as he turned away, unable to confront the reality of his choices. In that moment, Olivia felt the final threads of their relationship unravel, leaving her alone in a sea of judgment and scorn. The man she had loved had become a stranger, and the future they had dreamed of together slipped through her fingers like sand. The aftermath of the wedding disaster left Olivia in a haze of despair. She stumbled out of the Grand Horizon Hotel, her wedding dress trailing behind her like a ghost of the life she had envisioned. The laughter and celebration that had once filled the air now felt like a cruel mockery, echoing in her mind as she walked away from the shattered remnants of her dreams. In the days that followed, Olivia found herself engulfed in a profound sense of isolation. Friends offered their condolences, but their pity only deepened her sense of humiliation. She retreated into herself, spending nights on Maya's couch, staring at the ceiling as tears streamed down her cheeks. The vibrant woman who had once inspired her students now felt like a shadow of her former self, lost in a world that had turned its back on her. Every corner of her life reminded her of James, their favorite coffee shop, the park where they had shared dreams of the future. Each memory was a dagger, twisting deeper into her heart. As she lay awake at night, the weight of rejection pressed down on her, suffocating her spirit. Olivia was at rock bottom, grappling with the painful realization that the love she had fought for had vanished, leaving her to pick up the pieces of a life that felt irrevocably broken. In the wake of her shattered dreams, Olivia's life began to unravel. The financial strain of the wedding preparations weighed heavily on her, leaving her with mounting bills and a sense of dread. With her savings depleted and no wedding to show for it, she faced the harsh reality of her situation. The emotional devastation was equally crippling. Each day felt like a battle against the tide of despair that threatened to pull her under. Societal judgment loomed large, as whispers followed her wherever she went. Friends and acquaintances exchanged knowing glances, their pity palpable. Olivia felt like a pariah, a woman scorned who had failed to meet the expectations of a fairy tale. The weight of it all pressed down on her, making it difficult to breathe. She was trapped in a cycle of shame and regret, struggling to find a way forward in a world that seemed to have turned its back on her. Amidst the chaos of her life, Maya remained a steadfast beacon of support. Her best friend since college, Maya had always believed in Olivia's strength, even when Olivia struggled to see it in herself. She refused to let Olivia wallow in despair, constantly checking in and encouraging her to talk about her feelings. "Liv, you're not alone in this," Maya would say, her voice firm yet gentle. "You're stronger than you think, and you will get through this." Maya's unwavering friendship provided a glimmer of hope in Olivia's darkest moments. They spent countless evenings together, sharing cheap takeout and poring over old photo albums, reminiscing about happier times. Maya's laughter was infectious, and slowly it began to chip away at Olivia's heavy heart. With each passing day, Olivia felt a flicker of determination reignite within her, fueled by the knowledge that she had someone in her corner, ready to fight alongside her. One evening, as Olivia scrolled through job listings on her laptop, a particular posting caught her eye. A summer position at a tech startup in Silicon Valley, seeking educators to help develop an innovative educational platform. The pay was decent, and it included temporary housing. For a moment, hope flickered in her chest. This could be her lifeline, a chance to escape the suffocating weight of her current life. "What do I know about tech?" she wondered aloud, skepticism creeping in. But Maya, peering over her shoulder, nudged her gently. "You've been teaching kids how to code in your after-school program for years. You understand how people learn. You can do this." With Maya's encouragement echoing in her mind, Olivia felt a surge of determination. This opportunity could be the fresh start she desperately needed. A way to reclaim her life and redefine her future. Taking a deep breath, she clicked apply, her heart racing with anticipation. Despite the excitement of applying for the tech job, self-doubt crept in like a shadow. Olivia found herself questioning her abilities, replaying the moments of rejection and failure that had haunted her since the wedding debacle. "What if I'm not good enough?" she thought, her mind racing with insecurities. The tech world felt foreign and intimidating, a far cry from the familiar comfort of her classroom. She recalled the whispers of the Whitfield family, their disdain echoing in her mind. "You don't fit into our world," they had said, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were right. What if she stepped into this new role only to fail again? Yet, deep down, a flicker of hope persisted. She remembered her students' faces, their eagerness to learn, and the joy she felt when she inspired them. Perhaps this was her chance to rise from the ashes, to prove not just to others, but to herself, that she was capable of greatness. After days of wrestling with her doubts, Olivia made a pivotal decision. She would leave town temporarily. The thought of escaping the memories that haunted her felt liberating. She needed a fresh start, a chance to breathe without the weight of societal judgment pressing down on her. Maya supported her wholeheartedly, helping Olivia pack her essentials and encouraging her to embrace this new chapter. "This is your opportunity to rediscover yourself," Maya said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. You're not running away, you're running towards something better. As Olivia drove away from her hometown, she felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. The familiar streets faded into the distance, replaced by the promise of new experiences and possibilities. This journey symbolized more than just a physical departure. It was a step toward reclaiming her identity and finding her place in a world that had once seemed so unforgiving. As Olivia settled into her temporary housing in Silicon Valley, she felt a sense of anticipation bubbling within her. The vibrant energy of the tech hub was palpable, and for the first time in months, she felt a spark of excitement. Surrounded by innovators and dreamers, she began to see glimpses of her own potential. In her first few days at the startup, Olivia immersed herself in the world of technology, attending meetings and brainstorming sessions. She quickly realized that her background as an educator gave her a unique perspective on how to engage learners. Her ideas flowed freely, and her colleagues began to take notice. With each passing day, Olivia's confidence grew. She found herself contributing insights that resonated with the team, and the thrill of being valued reignited her passion for teaching. This new environment was not just a job. It was a chance to redefine her identity and harness her strengths in ways she had never imagined. Stepping into the bustling world of Silicon Valley was like entering a different universe for Olivia. The vibrant energy buzzed around her, a stark contrast to the quiet halls of her former school. Everywhere she looked, people were engaged in animated discussions, their eyes alight with passion and innovation. The air was thick with ambition, and for the first time, Olivia felt a sense of belonging among those who shared her drive to make a difference. However, the culture shock was undeniable. The fast-paced environment, filled with tech jargon and cutting-edge ideas, left her feeling both exhilarated and overwhelmed. She watched as her colleagues effortlessly navigated complex concepts, their confidence radiating from them. Doubts crept in again. Was she truly cut out for this world? But as she settled into her role, Olivia began to see the value of her unique perspective as an educator. She realized that her ability to connect with people and understand their learning needs was a powerful asset. With each passing day, she embraced the challenge, determined to carve out her place in this new landscape and transform her life in ways she had never thought possible. As the days turned into weeks, Olivia began to uncover her unique value within the tech startup. Her background as a teacher allowed her to approach problems from a different angle, and her insights quickly became invaluable to the team. During brainstorming sessions, she shared her ideas on how to make the educational platform more engaging and accessible for students. Her colleagues listened intently, intrigued by her passion and understanding of the learning process. "You have a gift for breaking down complex concepts," one of the developers remarked, nodding in appreciation. Olivia felt a rush of validation. Her voice was being heard, and her contributions mattered. With each successful meeting, her confidence blossomed. She started to take the initiative, proposing new features for the platform that would enhance user experience. The thrill of seeing her ideas come to life fueled her determination. Olivia realized that she was not just an outsider trying to fit in. She was a vital part of a team that was poised to make a real impact in the world of education. This newfound purpose ignited a fire within her, propelling her forward on her journey of transformation. One afternoon, Olivia was invited to a meeting with Eleanor Chen, the CEO of the startup. Eleanor was a dynamic leader known for her innovative approach and team business acumen. As Olivia entered the sleek conference room, she felt a mix of excitement and nerves. Eleanor's reputation preceded her, and Olivia was eager to impress. During the meeting, Eleanor listened intently as Olivia presented her ideas for enhancing the educational platform. The way Olivia articulated her vision captivated the room, and Eleanor's eyes sparkled with interest. "You have a unique perspective, Olivia," Eleanor said, her voice warm yet authoritative. "You understand both the technology and the human element of learning. That's rare." After the meeting, Eleanor pulled Olivia aside. "I see great potential in you. If you're willing to learn, I'd like to mentor you." Olivia's heart soared at the opportunity. Under Eleanor's guidance, she could refine her skills and gain insights into the business side of the tech world. This was the moment Olivia had been waiting for. a chance to grow, to evolve, and to transform her life in ways she had only dreamed of. Under Eleanor's mentorship, Olivia flourished. She dove headfirst into her new role, absorbing everything she could about the tech industry and the intricacies of product development. Eleanor encouraged her to take on challenging projects, and Olivia embraced each opportunity with enthusiasm. As she collaborated with the development team, her ideas began to take shape. One of her proposals, a feature that personalized learning experiences based on student feedback, gained traction and was quickly implemented. The positive response from users was overwhelming, and Olivia felt a surge of pride. Her contributions did not go unnoticed. During a company-wide meeting, Eleanor highlighted Olivia's work, praising her innovative thinking and dedication. "Olivia has shown us the power of combining education with technology," she declared, and the room erupted in applause. In that moment, Olivia realized she was no longer the woman left at the altar. She was a valued member of a team making a difference. The recognition fueled her ambition, and she began to envision a future where she could lead initiatives that would transform education on a larger scale. With each success, her confidence grew, and the shadows of her past began to fade. As Olivia's confidence soared, she faced a pivotal decision that weighed heavily on her heart. The more she immersed herself in the tech world, the more she realized that her passion for education could be channeled in ways she had never imagined. The startup was growing rapidly, and Eleanor offered her a permanent position, one that would require her to leave her teaching job behind. Sitting in her small apartment, surrounded by memories of her classroom, Olivia felt a pang of nostalgia. Teaching had been her life's calling, a role she cherished deeply. Yet, the opportunity before her was a chance to impact education on a much larger scale. "You could help more students through this platform than you ever could in a single classroom," Eleanor had said, and those words echoed in her mind. After sleepless nights of contemplation, Olivia made her decision. She called her principal and resigned, her heart racing with both fear and excitement. This was not just a career change, it was a leap into the unknown, a commitment to a future where she could redefine her purpose. With a mix of sadness and exhilaration, she stepped into her new life, ready to embrace the challenges ahead. As Olivia settled into her new role, the excitement of her transformation was palpable. She was no longer just a teacher. She was a key player in a tech startup poised to revolutionize education. But just as she began to feel secure in her new identity, a familiar name surfaced in the news: Whitfield Industries. The headlines screamed of financial troubles and a desperate need for innovation. Olivia's heart raced as she read about the company's struggles, and a thought struck her like lightning. Could this be her chance to confront the past that had haunted her? The idea of returning to the Whitfields, not as the rejected bride, but as a successful executive, sent a thrill of determination coursing through her veins. She could leverage her insights to help a company that had once dismissed her. If you've ever faced rejection and turned it into a powerful comeback, this story is just beginning. Hit subscribe now to follow Olivia's journey as she navigates the challenges ahead and reclaims her narrative. In the months that followed, Olivia's career skyrocketed. Her dedication and innovative ideas quickly caught the attention of her colleagues and superiors alike. She immersed herself in every project, working late nights and weekends to ensure the success of the educational platform. Each milestone achieved felt like a personal victory, fueling her ambition further. As she took on more responsibilities, Olivia was promoted to lead several key initiatives. Her ability to connect with both the tech team and educators made her an invaluable asset. She spearheaded workshops that bridged the gap between technology and teaching, earning accolades from both her peers and industry leaders. With each success, Olivia's reputation grew, and she became a sought-after voice in the educational technology space. The once timid teacher had transformed into a confident leader, ready to make her mark on the world. The journey was challenging, but every step forward solidified her resolve to rise to the top. As Olivia navigated her new role, she recognized the importance of expanding her knowledge beyond education. She enrolled in online courses on business strategy, technology trends, and leadership skills, determined to equip herself for the challenges ahead. Each lesson was a stepping stone, and she absorbed the material with fervor, eager to apply what she learned. However, the journey was not without its moments of doubt. There were times when she felt overwhelmed by the complexities of the tech industry, questioning whether she truly belonged. During a particularly challenging project, she found herself second-guessing her decisions, fearing she might let her team down. But with each triumph, her confidence grew. She learned to embrace her unique perspective as an educator, using it to inform her decisions and inspire those around her. The blend of her teaching background and newfound business acumen began to shape her into a formidable leader, ready to tackle any obstacle that came her way. With her growing confidence and expertise, Olivia began to explore strategic investments that aligned with her vision for education. She attended networking events and engaged with venture capitalists, eager to learn the ins and outs of funding and growth. Her keen insights into the educational landscape allowed her to identify promising startups that focused on accessibility and innovation. As she made her first investments, Olivia felt a rush of excitement. Each successful venture not only bolstered her financial standing, but also reinforced her belief in the transformative power of technology in education. Her portfolio began to diversify, and with it, her wealth grew exponentially. The thrill of entrepreneurship invigorated her, and she found herself drawn deeper into the world of business. Olivia was no longer just an employee. She was becoming a player in the game, using her resources to create opportunities for others while solidifying her own future. The path ahead was bright, and she was ready to seize it. As Olivia continued to excel in her role, her confidence blossomed into a commanding executive presence. She learned to navigate board meetings with poise, articulating her ideas clearly and assertively. Gone were the days of second-guessing herself. She now embraced her unique perspective as a former educator, using it to challenge conventional thinking and inspire her colleagues. Her transformation was evident in her interactions. Olivia began to mentor younger team members, sharing her knowledge and encouraging them to pursue their ambitions. The respect she garnered from her peers was a testament to her hard work and determination. With each successful presentation and strategic decision, Olivia felt the weight of her past insecurities lift. She was no longer the timid teacher who had once felt out of place. She had become a leader who commanded attention and respect. The journey had shaped her into a force to be reckoned with, ready to tackle any challenge that lay ahead. The day of the IPO arrived, and the atmosphere in the office was electric with anticipation. Olivia stood among her colleagues, her heart racing as they prepared to take the company public. This moment was the culmination of years of hard work, innovation, and determination. As the bell rang, signaling the start of trading, a wave of exhilaration washed over her. When the numbers flashed on the screen, confirming the success of the IPO, cheers erupted throughout the office. Olivia felt a rush of pride as she realized that her stock options had made her a millionaire overnight. It was a surreal moment, one that validated all her sacrifices and struggles. But amidst the celebration, a sense of caution lingered. With newfound wealth came new responsibilities and challenges. Olivia understood that this was just the beginning of a new chapter, one that would require her to navigate the complexities of success while staying true to her vision for education. Just as Olivia was reveling in her newfound success, the news broke about Whitfield Industries' financial troubles. Headlines splashed across every major news outlet, detailing the company's struggles to adapt to a rapidly changing market. The once mighty empire was now facing significant losses, and the board was scrambling for solutions. Olivia felt a mix of emotions as she read the articles. The Whitfields had once dismissed her, but now their company was in dire straits, and she couldn't help but feel a sense of vindication. Yet, beneath that feeling lay a deeper concern. The news hinted at a potential restructuring, and she knew that the Whitfield family would be desperate for fresh ideas and leadership. This could be her opportunity to confront her past and leverage her expertise to help a company that had once rejected her. The thought sent a thrill of determination through her. Olivia was ready to step into the fray, but she also understood that the stakes had never been higher. One afternoon, as Olivia sat in her office reviewing quarterly reports, Eleanor Chen entered with a serious expression. "We need to talk about an opportunity that could change everything for us," she said, her tone commanding Olivia's full attention. Eleanor laid out the details. Whitfield Industries was struggling, and their board was seeking investors to help modernize the company. "This could be a strategic move for us," Eleanor explained. "Acquiring Whitfield would not only expand our market reach, but also integrate their educational manufacturing division with our digital platform. It's a win-win." Olivia's heart raced at the mention of the Whitfields. The prospect of acquiring the very company that had once dismissed her was both thrilling and daunting. She felt a surge of determination mixed with trepidation. This was her chance to reclaim her narrative, but it also meant confronting the ghosts of her past. The stakes were high, and she knew she had to tread carefully. As Olivia considered Eleanor's proposal, she found herself torn between ambition and the emotional weight of her past. The idea of acquiring Whitfield Industries was undeniably enticing. It represented a chance to solidify her position in the tech world and make a significant impact on education. Yet the thought of returning to the Whitfields stirred up a whirlwind of feelings: betrayal, humiliation, and unresolved anger. She recalled the day of her wedding, the cold dismissal from Richard Whitfield, and the way James had turned his back on her. Could she really step into their world again, knowing how they had treated her? The prospect of facing James, the man who had once promised her a future, filled her with both dread and a strange sense of empowerment. Olivia knew that pursuing this acquisition would mean confronting her past head-on. But deep down, she also recognized that this was an opportunity to rewrite her story, to transform pain into power. Determined to seize the opportunity, Olivia began to strategize the acquisition of Whitfield Industries while maintaining her anonymity. She knew that revealing her identity too soon could complicate negotiations and potentially jeopardize the deal. With Eleanor's support, they assembled a team of legal and financial experts to conduct a thorough analysis of Whitfield's assets and liabilities. Olivia meticulously crafted a plan that highlighted the synergies between the two companies, emphasizing how integrating their educational manufacturing division with LearnSphere's digital platform could revolutionize the industry. She spent countless hours poring over financial reports, market trends, and potential growth strategies, driven by a fierce determination to succeed. As the pieces fell into place, Olivia felt a surge of confidence. This was not just a business move, it was a chance to reclaim her narrative and prove her worth. With each step forward, she could almost taste the victory that awaited her. But she knew the path ahead would be fraught with challenges. As Olivia delved deeper into the acquisition process, she grappled with the duality of her motivations. On one hand, the business case for acquiring Whitfield Industries was compelling. The potential for growth, innovation, and market expansion was undeniable. She envisioned a future where the combined strengths of both companies could lead to groundbreaking advancements in education technology. Yet, on the other hand, her emotional motivations loomed large. The desire for closure from her past with the Whitfields tugged at her heart. This acquisition was not just about business, it was a chance to confront the pain of rejection and prove to herself and to them that she was more than the woman they had dismissed. Olivia understood that mixing personal feelings with business decisions could be perilous. But as she prepared to move forward, she resolved to channel her emotions into a driving force, using her past as fuel for her ambition rather than a hindrance. As negotiations progressed, Olivia found herself navigating board meetings and discussions from a distance, carefully orchestrating the acquisition while maintaining her anonymity. She communicated through legal representatives and strategic partners, ensuring that her identity remained concealed until the right moment. Each meeting was a test of her resolve, as she listened to the Whitfield board discuss their challenges and potential solutions. Olivia took meticulous notes, analyzing their weaknesses and identifying opportunities for improvement. The more she learned, the more confident she became in her ability to lead the company toward a brighter future. The tension in the air was palpable during these meetings, and Olivia felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. She was on the brink of a confrontation that could change everything. With each passing day, the stakes grew higher, and she knew that soon she would have to reveal herself and face the very people who had once cast her aside. As the final negotiations approached, Olivia felt a whirlwind of emotions. The moment of truth was drawing near, and she meticulously prepared for the dramatic reveal of her identity to the Whitfield board. She practiced her speech, rehearsing the key points she wanted to convey, how the acquisition would not only save their company, but also transform it into a leader in educational technology. In the days leading up to the meeting, Olivia reflected on her journey, from the heartbreak of rejection to the empowerment she had found in her new role. She understood that this confrontation was not just about business. It was a chance to reclaim her narrative and demonstrate her growth. On the day of the meeting, she donned a tailored suit that exuded confidence, her heart racing with anticipation. As she walked into the boardroom, she felt the weight of her past and the promise of her future collide. This was her moment, and she was ready to seize it. Olivia's heart raced as she drove back to her hometown, the familiar streets now tinged with a sense of empowerment. The woman who had once felt like an outsider was now a powerful executive, ready to confront the very family that had dismissed her. The transformation she had undergone over the past few years was profound. She was no longer the timid teacher left at the altar, but a confident leader poised to make a significant impact. As she approached the imposing Whitfield headquarters, memories flooded back, moments of joy intertwined with pain. But this time, she was armed with knowledge, experience, and a vision for the future. The weight of her past no longer felt like a burden, it was a source of strength. Olivia took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and stepped out of the car, ready to reclaim her narrative and show the Whitfields that she was more than they had ever imagined. As Olivia entered the grand lobby of Whitfield headquarters, the air was thick with tension. The polished marble floors and elegant decor felt both familiar and foreign, a stark reminder of the world she had once longed to be a part of. Heads turned as she walked in, and the whispers began almost immediately. Richard Whitfield, seated at the head of a long conference table, looked up, his expression shifting from surprise to disbelief. The room fell silent as recognition dawned on the faces of the board members. "Olivia?" Richard finally managed, his voice laced with incredulity. James, who had been seated beside his father, stood frozen, his eyes wide with shock. The once confident heir to the Whitfield legacy now appeared vulnerable, caught off guard by the woman he had underestimated. Olivia could feel the weight of their gazes, a mix of astonishment and unease, as she prepared to assert her presence in a room that had once felt so out of reach. In that moment, the power dynamics in the room shifted dramatically. Olivia stood tall, her confidence radiating as she took a step forward, commanding the attention of everyone present. "Thank you for meeting with me today," she began, her voice steady and assertive. "I'm here to discuss the future of Whitfield Industries and how we can work together to turn things around." The board members exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of surprise and apprehension. Richard's brow furrowed, and for the first time, he seemed uncertain. Olivia could sense the shift. She was no longer the rejected bride, but a formidable executive with a vision. As she laid out her strategic plan for the acquisition, detailing how the integration of their educational division with LearnSphere could revitalize the company, she felt a surge of empowerment. The room, once dominated by the Whitfields, now hung on her every word, and Olivia knew she was finally in control of her destiny. Richard Whitfield's expression hardened as Olivia presented her plan. "This is absurd," he interjected, his voice rising with indignation. "You think you can just waltz in here and dictate terms? You have no idea what it takes to run a company like this." The tension in the room thickened, and Olivia felt the weight of his hostility. "I may not have your background, Richard, but I understand the educational landscape better than anyone," she replied, her tone unwavering. "Whitfield Industries needs fresh ideas and a new direction, and I'm offering that." Richard's face flushed with anger, and he leaned forward, his fists clenched. "You're out of your depth, Olivia. This is a family business, and you're an outsider." But Olivia stood her ground, refusing to back down. "I'm here to help, not to harm." The future of this company depends on embracing change, and I'm the one who can lead that transformation. The conflict was palpable, and Olivia knew she had to navigate this carefully. As the tension escalated, James finally found his voice, breaking through the charged atmosphere. "Dad, wait," he said, his tone softer but firm. "Olivia has a point. We've been struggling to adapt, and maybe it's time we listen to someone who understands the current landscape." Richard shot him a look of disbelief, but James continued, his gaze fixed on Olivia. "I've seen what you've accomplished, and I know you're capable of leading this company into the future." Olivia met James's eyes, and in that moment, she saw a flicker of regret. He was grappling with the choices he had made, the path he had followed under his father's influence. "I should have stood by you back then," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. The vulnerability in his admission hung in the air, and Olivia felt a mix of emotions: anger, sadness, and a glimmer of understanding. This was a pivotal moment, not just for the company, but for both of them. As the room fell silent, the weight of James' words lingered in the air. Olivia felt a surge of emotions: betrayal, hope, and a flicker of the love they once shared. "This isn't just about the company," she said, her voice steady. "It's about proving that we can rise above our pasts and create something meaningful together." Richard's face twisted in anger, but Olivia pressed on, determined to make her case. "If you want to save Whitfield Industries, you need to embrace change. I can help you do that, but it requires trust and collaboration." The tension was palpable as Richard opened his mouth to respond, but before he could speak, the door swung open and a board member rushed in with urgent news. "We have a crisis on our hands. The tables have completely turned. Have you ever wanted a moment like this with someone who underestimated you? Like this video and tell us your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories of transformation." After the board meeting, Olivia found a moment alone with James in a quiet corner of the office. The air was thick with unspoken emotions, and she could feel the tension between them. He looked different now, older, warier, and yet there was a flicker of the man she once loved beneath the surface. "Olivia," he began, his voice hesitant, "I never thought I'd see you here, in this position." She met his gaze, searching for the right words. "I've worked hard to get here, James. I want to help this company succeed, but I need to know that you're on board." James nodded, his expression a mix of regret and admiration. "I'm ready to listen. I should have done that a long time ago." In that moment, Olivia felt a shift, a recognition that they were both different people now, shaped by their experiences and ready to confront the past together. With the weight of their shared history hanging in the air, Olivia took a deep breath and spoke from her heart. "James, I want to offer you a position here. Not as a favor or out of revenge, but because I believe you have valuable insights that can help us navigate this transition." His eyes widened in surprise. "You'd really do that? After everything?" "Yes," she replied firmly. "I've learned that true leadership is about collaboration and recognizing each other's strengths. We can't change the past, but we can build a better future together." James looked contemplative, the vulnerability in his expression evident. "I've spent too long living in my father's shadow, afraid to step out on my own. I'd be honored to work alongside you to help turn this company around." In that moment, Olivia felt a sense of closure. They were no longer bound by the past. They were ready to forge a new path forward. James took a moment to gather his thoughts, his gaze dropping to the floor as he processed Olivia's offer. "I've always admired your strength, Olivia," he admitted, his voice tinged with sincerity. "You've faced so much, and yet you've risen above it all. I let my family dictate my choices, and in doing so, I lost sight of who I really am." Olivia felt a swell of empathy for him. "We all have our battles, James. I've learned that true strength comes from acknowledging our vulnerabilities and using them to grow." He looked up, meeting her eyes with a newfound determination. "I want to be part of this change, to prove that I can stand on my own. I've been weak in the past, but I'm ready to step up and support you." In that moment, they both recognized the power of vulnerability, understanding that it was the first step toward healing and rebuilding their lives together. As Olivia walked away from her conversation with James, she felt a profound sense of clarity wash over her. The journey she had taken, from heartbreak to empowerment, had taught her invaluable lessons about resilience and growth. She realized that her success was not rooted in revenge, but in the strength she had cultivated through her experiences. Reflecting on her past, Olivia understood that the pain of rejection had been a catalyst for her transformation. Instead of allowing it to define her, she had used it as fuel to propel herself forward. Each challenge she faced had shaped her into the leader she was today, capable of inspiring others and driving meaningful change. In that moment, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the obstacles she had overcome. They had led her to this point, where she could embrace her future with confidence and purpose, ready to make a lasting impact in the world of education. With renewed determination, Olivia stepped into her role as the leader of the restructuring efforts at Whitfield Industries. She gathered her team, including James, and laid out a comprehensive plan that emphasized innovation, collaboration, and a commitment to educational excellence. Under her guidance, the company began to pivot towards a more modern approach, integrating technology with traditional educational practices. Olivia encouraged open dialogue, fostering an environment where every voice was heard and valued. The transformation was palpable. Employees felt empowered and motivated, united by a shared vision for the future. As the weeks passed, Olivia witnessed the fruits of their labor. The company's culture shifted and productivity soared. The once stagnant organization was now buzzing with creativity and enthusiasm. Olivia's leadership not only revitalized the company, but also symbolized her personal triumph over adversity. She had turned her dreams into reality, proving that resilience and collaboration could lead to extraordinary outcomes. As Olivia reflected on her journey, she realized that rejection had been a powerful teacher. It had redirected her path, leading her to discover her true potential and purpose. The experiences that once felt like insurmountable obstacles had ultimately shaped her into a resilient leader, capable of inspiring others. She understood that every setback had been an opportunity for growth, pushing her to redefine her narrative. The lessons learned from her past fueled her passion for education and innovation, driving her to create a company culture that valued collaboration and creativity. In sharing her story with her team, Olivia emphasized the importance of embracing challenges as stepping stones to success. "We all face rejection," she said, "but it's how we respond that defines us. Let's turn our setbacks into comebacks and continue to push the boundaries of what's possible." With renewed purpose, Olivia was ready to lead Whitfield Industries into a bright future, transforming not just the company, but the lives of countless students along the way. Olivia's journey from a rejected bride to a powerful CEO is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. She transformed her heartbreak into a driving force, using her experiences to fuel her ambition and reshape her identity. Each challenge she faced became a stepping stone, leading her to a place of empowerment and purpose. The woman who once felt lost and dismissed now stood confidently at the helm of a thriving company, ready to make a difference in the world of education. True success is not measured by titles or accolades, but by the internal validation we cultivate within ourselves. Olivia learned that her worth was not defined by the opinions of others, but by her resilience, determination, and the impact she could make. She discovered that embracing her unique journey allowed her to find fulfillment and joy in her work, inspiring those around her to do the same. As Olivia reflected on her path, she recognized that pain can be a powerful catalyst for growth. It teaches us valuable lessons, shapes our character, and ultimately propels us toward our true potential. By using her struggles as fuel, Olivia not only transformed her own life, but also became a beacon of hope for others facing their own challenges. If this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that rejection isn't the end of their story. It might just be the beginning.